Okay, so I know Kevin said that, it's one thing for him to talk about it, but it's another thing to show you the bootlegs. So these are like the stack of vinyls, and these are all bootlegs?
Mostly bootlegs, some official releases.
Okay, sure. So why don't you take us through like the bootlegs you have?
Okay, so I'll kind of go through this pretty quick, but just to show you, back in the late 80s, early 90s, before the internet, before YouTube, we would trade by catalog, and we would just go down to the record stores in Hollywood and we would buy these bootlegs. Generally, they were vinyl bootlegs that were sometimes double records, and they were usually $30-$40 at least, sometimes $50 or more, which for a 14-year-old teenager with obviously no job and in school, it's a lot of money. So, and this was also back in the 80s, late 80s. So this is one of the first ones I got, which is called Dr. Love. So they would typically have an early photo of the band. And then on the back, you'd see like, this was Dusseldorf, 1987. And then the Ritz, 1988.
So was Dr. Love like a reference to Kiss or something?
I don't know. A lot of these were just sort of fake record companies that were, but this is kind of a rare back shot. And then they typically would have like a nice spread in here.
Yeah.
Which this, as you know, is
we've seen that photo.
You've seen that as an official poster, but again, just showing you the...
Would you ever like have trouble playing like bootleg records on your record player just because?
No, they would. They generally, on the turntable, they'd work. What I did is I would transfer them. I would transfer it to cassette, and then it would be the cassettes I would listen to. So these haven't been listened to. All those cassettes I showed you, the stacks of cassettes were, a lot of them were transferred. Okay. There was one called Everybody's Ass Is Up for Grabs. This is Dr. Love. This one is just called Paradise. I think this is Boston or Amsterdam. I can't remember.
I'm going to guess Boston because it's in green.
This is kind of fun because we're going through this. Some of these I haven't opened in years.
Trademark of quality.
Yeah, so I actually don't know what this one is. It's not labeled, and I have so many, and it's been so many years, and they were all transferred. I think this was actually the Paradise Club. That's why it's called Paradise. Paradise Club, I think it was either Boston or Amsterdam. I don't know why those two stick out in my head, but...
It's so funny how spoiled kids are these days. Like, you had to go spend $40 on these, and nowadays kids have YouTube and they can go listen to bootlegs from last night's show and see the set list and everything.
Yeah, I'd have to, beg my grandmother, basically, borrow money, beg my parents. Grandmother helped me out a lot with these to get these, and of course I preserved them in the plastic sleeves, and I don't expect them to be in perfect shape, but there's a lot of history to it. This is Bad Boys, Great Noise, which looks like it's, again, the usual, Appetite songs. This was either a concert or it was either a concert or demos. A lot of these are not labeled. This says Halloween on the Horizon inside it, so, again.
So would there be people whose job it is to be like professional bootleggers and they just go to the shows and record every show they could?
I honestly don't know. I don't know what happened to those people. These were like this one. Okay, so this one is Perkins Palace, Pasadena, December 30th, 1987. I told you that there were 4 shows at Perkins Palace. Yeah. This was the last night. This is Waggle Records. So they would I think they were just sort of made up to look official. Yeah. This one you can see, this was the price tag, $45, and this was in these are 87, this was recordings, so I think this may have been 89.
Yeah. So were there any record stores that didn't sell bootlegs?
Well, these were the Hollywood record stores. Yeah. So you see that Club something record company, Guns N' Roses. So for those of you that are really into vinyl, this might be interesting. These are bootlegs, and these are well preserved. At least the vinyls are well preserved.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of kids into vinyl these days.
Yeah, but original GNR bootlegs, these were something that were circulated. The places we used to go to, mainly it was Hollywood, and also the San Fernando Valley. There was a place called Moby Disc.
Moby Disc.
Like Moby Dick, Moby Disc. On Ventura Boulevard in Studio City, Sherman Oaks, where I grew up, and then we'd go to the places like, there was a record store called Bleecker Bob's on Melrose. There was the Rock Shop, Vinyl Fetish, and sort of those places were sort of close to a place called Retail Slut.
Yeah.
Which was,
Retail Slut is where Slash got his top hat from.
you got it.
Yep.
Retail Slut's where Slash lifted the top hat. So all those places.
So you have one that says November Rain.
Yeah, this says November Rain. This is, again, these typically, this also says Waggle Records. This is 19, jeez. I think that's 1990. It's Roman numerals.
So people already knew November Rain was like a demo. It must have been, the demo must have been floating around.
These
a
are all
lot.
demos.
Oh, so can you bring it a little closer?
Yeah. Heartbreak Hotel, different versions of Heartbreak Hotel. November Rain was on many of them. Don't Cry, of course.
Shadow of Your Love, Reckless Life, Don't Cry.
Don't forget also Jumpin' Jack Flash was a widely circulated demo that was very popular. I don't believe that was ever officially released by the band.
I don't think it was. Yeah,
there was at least 3 or 4 versions out there, and I have those different versions. Let me go ahead and show you this one. This was Halloween on the Horizon, which I think this is the one that was October 31st, 1987 is what it says. And again, sometimes they were not particularly accurate either. This is Used to Love Her But I Had to Kill Her, My Michelle, Rocket Queen, Knocking on Heaven's Door, Blues Jam. Remember the original Appetite lineup did blues jams, guitar jams.
Yeah.
And from mid to late 87 all the way through. So there's a picture there. This one I think does have a middle section. Yeah, check that out.
That's cool.
So you got to remember, these were collages that were made. Remember, these were made. This is
These are made by fans, right?
Made by fans or people profiting. Bootlegs. I mean, these are vinyl bootlegs, pressed, limited pressings, typically a couple hundred. I don't think they made more than a couple hundred. And remember, the band had only been out popular for a couple years or even a year at the time. So you can find them all on eBay, but for me, what's fun is finding them in the record stores. Now I think eBay and YouTube make it easy to find rare collectibles, but what's fun is getting on the bus, riding out to Hollywood, flipping through the records, finding something cool. They would sometimes put them behind the desk. So
was there ever like a rule of thumb, like, okay, you go to the record store?
This is a very early picture too, sorry. Check that out. That's an early shot, club shots.
So was there ever like a rule of thumb, like you go to the record store every Tuesday when they're on tour and you'd have like another couple bootlegs, or it's just whenever people decide to?
Every Saturday, it was a ritual. I mean, from late 87 on, it was, for at least for a couple of years till I went to college. So from late 87, when I was still at home, until I graduated high school in 92, that was my ritual, is go out and check out the bootlegs. I collected everything. I had patches, I had headbands, I had, the big banners.
It's funny, the only bootlegs I've ever come across, because I think it was when I was in like HMV, they had like a bootleg of the St. Louis Ride Show, and then they had a bootleg, I think, of the Chicago show or something.
These are all, I think everything I've shown you now is original.
It's all on YouTube.
Appetite.
Yeah, it's all on.
These are the original Appetite demo. these are, this one here is Marky and Limelight, and it says, this is the Limelight, so January 31, 1988, Limelight Club in New York, which I've been to. There's actually a restaurant now that is, it's been converted into a restaurant, and they have sort of some interesting stuff there to check out. But this was the first, and I think only live complete version of Corn Shucker.
Corn Shucker.
That's the one where Axl says, thanks for coming to rehearsal tonight.
Yeah.
And it's a very poor quality, but it's got 1 in a Million, Patience, Corn Shucker, Knock on Heaven's Door, Used to Love Her, Shadow of Your Love. So I had all of these, and this says 89, and I got it that year. So, yeah, I think this is from Japan. Is he holding the sake, I think?
Who's that guy there?
I don't know.
Never been able to figure that out?
Never been able to figure out who that is. So this is called Metal Pedals. Okay.
I think Franz references the bootlegs too. Like, I know when he uploads stuff, like he has like certain names. I think it's like just.
I think it's part of history. It's part
absolutely.
of GNR history.
That is really cool.
This is a British. I think it's a bootleg. This is not an official release, obviously. Although it's an interview with Guns N' Roses by a guy named Guy Boothby, and it says made in England. And I don't see a year on it out here, but I want to say it's about 90, 89 or 90.
Is it maybe 87 when they did the Marquee shows?
Yeah, again, I don't know. It's kind of hard to put the sleeves back in, so I'll just kind of go
Sure,
through.
yeah.
This is Castle Donington bootleg, original vinyl bootleg of
Yeah.
the Castle Donington show. And again, just think about what it was like for the collectors at this time. This is the only way you could hear these shows, is because they were not officially released and there was no
Yeah.
web at that time, right? So this was 88, and it says here, mixed in West Germany, made in West Germany. So, you know, again, you never know if it's true.
Right.
They've got the band members and they spelled McKagan wrong, so it was kind of put together kind of sometimes sloppily.
Yeah. So I guess while you're going through, do you have like a holy grail of like bootlegs? If you could get pro shot quality of it, what would you want to see?
So of all the bootlegs, which one is the best quality?
In Guns N' Roses history, like, you know, if you could,
Okay.
if there's a bootleg you were looking for or something, you get pro shot footage
that I don't have.
that you don't have.
Okay, well, first of all, the best soundboard bootleg, the two best, would be the Marquee show.
Yeah, the Marquee show's got very good sound.
The audio soundboard of the Marquee show, June 87 Marquee in London. There were a couple shows, but it was, I can't remember if it was the first or second night. And that's where Knockin' on Heaven's Door and Whole Lotta Rosie were recorded that were officially released. And the second one is, there is a bootleg of Perkins Palace from December 30th, 87, which I just showed you.
Yeah.
And that is a beautiful soundboard, but it's an incomplete soundboard.
So what's one you don't have your hands on but you'd love to see, you know, released in pro shot? If you're like, okay, Axel, I want you to release one, or you get one wish with Guns N' Roses to release one pro shot footage. Would it be the Stones show?
So before October 18th, 89, I believe it was a week before the Rolling Stones show, opening up for the Rolling Stones at the LA Coliseum. They did a warm-up show at Park Plaza Hotel in Los Angeles, and there's clips of it online, but it was professionally shot. To my knowledge, the Coliseum show wasn't. So it's a pro shot of the original 5, and it was one of the only shows they did in 1989. They only played the 4 Coliseum
And then the
shows in October. It was 18th, 19th, 21, and 22nd. Maybe it was a different, but a week before the Stone shows. So it would be the October 89 show that comes to mind. I'm glad the Ritz show got released from 87. That was great. Also, of course, to see video of the Marquee show.
Yeah.
If that was
Marquee show, I'd love to see.
We don't know if that was videotaped.
I thought it was videotaped, but maybe I read it in one of the books. I don't remember.
Yeah. Another thing, and this is a little known fact I just learned, is that apparently someone did record Guns N' Roses in the club days at the Stardust Ballroom in 85, and that was lost.
Well, the person who recorded like died, didn't they? So it's probably lost somewhere.
Yeah.